I'm not one of those. I don't think most people are racist. And I think they have we all joke around about races actually. There was a time 10 years ago, 20 years ago, people used to stand on the podiums here and make racist jokes. And we used to be men about it and say, oh, whatever, he doesn't mean it maliciously. We make jokes within our people. You make jokes within your people. But we become so sensitive. Why? Who's causing all of this friction? Ask yourself this. Now, I understand white people, particularly white males, have a hard time expressing themselves. Yeah? Why is that? Is your problems...
I think it's because we feel restrained
yes,
at the moment.
Yes.
As a white British person, I feel like, you know, restrained in what I can say.
100%.
If I put a point of view across, I will be labelled supporting Tommy Robertson.
Yeah.
I'll be labelled as a
racist.
Prophet.
EDL.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of white British people feel that way.
Okay.
That we can't speak freely.
Okay.
Because there's a restraining order on us.
Now, I understand this.
We should all be able to speak freely, even if you.
And that's why I opened this topic for you.
We need to discuss things in an open way. In this country, it is changing.
Yeah. So this is why reason. This is the reason I opened this topic, because I know people like yourself can't talk about this topic, and that's why I'm opening the topic for people like you. But the problem isn't with Muslims that you have. In fact, everything that you need is you need stable jobs. You need good housing. You need wives. You don't need feminism and high sexuality and salaciousness. You want wives. You want your children to be your children, not the council's children. You want to be able to discipline your children in a way that reflects your morality, not someone else's or another institute's, right? It's not just identity. It's not just being white. Identity is extremely important, but there are multiple things that are taken away from the being of the white person or the white Englishman, that he cannot, sorry, one second, that he cannot express himself. Your focus, unfortunately, is zoomed into one thing only. Ask yourself, in Islam, everything you are asking for, in regards to identity, in regards to strength against feminism, LGBT, your wife being your wife, your manliness and your children, Islam is what gives it to you. You are dying because why? You need identity. You want to be able to sit about people where you can speak a common language and have a common understanding. But Christianity used to give you that, right or wrong? It used to. You had communal places like churches. After the fall of Christianity, you had communal places like pubs. Now, pubs are closing down because people just simply don't have money because of capitalism and many other factors. There's white flight as well, and there's a high level of immigration. Again, it's not Muslims' fault. I understand everything you're saying, but what you're asking for is something to fill that vacuum in. I'm telling you that vacuum to be filled in is Islam. It gives you brotherhood, it gives you cohesion and adhesion.
Not for everybody though. You know, this is because we live in a democracy where people should be allowed to choose what they want.
Yes.
No disrespect. Sometimes I feel that Islam can be very forceful in what it wants and in the way it presents itself. Now I'm not disrespecting you.
Look, speak freely.
Do you see what I mean? Sometimes I think a lot of people are scared of Islam because of how it presents itself. It's not, not inherently a bad
So what's your name again?
Michael.
Understand, you're a smart man. Don't take things in vacuum or out of context. The world has been a disastrous place for the last hundreds of years or so. It's been marred with wars. And the people that are being killed are the ones that are being made to be blamed. And the ones who are doing the killing are the victims. That's the truth. Why do you think these people are so hot-headed? When Algerians, for example, had 1 million Algerians killed, the French didn't care. When Africa was carved up by British and the French colonial empires, they didn't care. When Arabia was carved up, Sykes and Pickett's, they didn't care. You think you take people's homes, kill their women, bomb them, and they won't be upset. Look at what happened in Afghanistan. 20 years worth of last point I make. Afghanistan, 20 years worth of war. American YouTubers are now going into the country. Can you imagine if I had bombed England for 20 years and I came in and I was well received by the people? This is what we're seeing. YouTubers are being well received in places like Afghanistan. After bombing them, killing their children, their women and everything. So understand they're human like you, Michael. They're human. They bleed like you. So have some passion for them and understand they're humans that cry. They need love.
What do you think
Do you understand? But we dehumanize them and say, you're not human. We can bomb the crap out of you and then come back 20 years later.
This is governments that do it. This isn't the people on the street. This
Okay,
isn't me.
Michael,
this isn't him over
so
there.
far,
these are governments that
Michael, so far,
these
Michael.
practices, not me,
Okay.
not him.
I'll catch up on you. Say. So far, what I've been saying, I've been very reasonable. I've been accommodative of what your stance as a white person is. Do you agree? Okay, I've thought about these things, not greatly, but when I think pretty fast, yeah, not in any particular place.
I've got a couple of questions to ask you.
Okay. Sorry, what was that? I just lost my train of thought. Okay, go on.
Right, two questions.
Firstly, what was the point you made? What was the point you just made?
The point I made was you're saying that sort of we as...
Oh, it's elitist. Okay. Okay, the underlying tone in everything that I've been saying is not that it's white people, it's elitist.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if you caught that.
This thing with the British Empire, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
My family aren't British Empire. My family came from poor families in the north of England, mining towns.
And you didn't have a pot to piss in or window to throw it out. So I understand. So people try to blame.
Did this, I'm responsible.
Yeah. So people typically, again, it's understanding. Michael, it's understanding. The white working class person, the miners, the people that work on the rail, they work hard, even up to today. These blue collar job guys, they're working their off and they don't get any thanks from anyone. In fact, they're made to feel so lowly. The bricklayer who's making your house, all of these guys work hard and we just overlook them all of the time. The working class in every single nation, is oppressed. And the British people, sorry, I'm going to get it. The British people are not responsible entirely. What it meant is white colonialism is a very particular type of white. The Irish were not included in white. The people who had a particular accent, unless it was received pronunciation, you weren't considered as white. What white meant back then is not what white means now. White now is much, much more inclusive. And we as a people need to know that. But the problem is, Michael, is that you have that thinking whether you know it or not, you are a recipient or some kind of benefits of the colonial actions there, the way the roads are paved and the institutions and everything, and so am I because I live here. So there's not that much different, and you do have slight more privileges than me, but I'm not one of those wokeist.
I'm telling him he's got white.
I'm not that wokeist type of person. I don't care. So be it. That's the way of empires. One day it's the British, one day it's the people from Belgium or Holland.
That kind of white privilege thing is a little bit old hat now because maybe in the 80s, 70s, the 80s.
Have you travelled the world?
Yes, I have. It was more prevalent at
Which
that
countries
time.
have you been?
Where have I been? India, Nepal.
You've been in India, Nepal.
Egypt,
Be honest.
Morocco.
When you was in India, Nepal, what treatment did you as a white British man get?
It depends.
What do you think this guy, what treatment do you think this guy would get in India?
I experienced a lot of racism.
Yeah.
As a whole, I love India.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic country and the people are really, really nice. But of course, there's going to be
Believe me,
elements of racism.
I work with a lot of
spit in my path when I'm walking. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying.
But there are privileges.
India is like India. I love India. It's one of my favourite countries I've been to. But racism against white people does exist there.
I agree.
And I think that.
And they can't say nothing. And they can't say nothing, can they? They can't say that. But it wasn't the working class white guys, was it? They didn't have a pot to piss in or window to throw out. I know this. Look at the Irish. No dogs, no blacks, no Irish. It wasn't just people of colour. It was everyone was getting done. But one small.
I got an Irish name just because I got an Irish name.
Yeah, double barrel names. You had to hide the name.
Kelly, Irish.
Exactly. I know this.
Is your dad in the IRA? These are things that used to happen at school.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a couple of quick questions?
He's desperate to ask you. Let him ask.
Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So on Afghanistan, I just wanted to know your views on how they're treating women there, the Taliban.
Yeah, sure.
Secondly, you know, like you talked about the West, and yeah, there's a lot of problems in the West. And we talked about the British Empire. I wanted to ask you, do you know about the Mughal Empire, what they did in India?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, let's ask one question. Let's ask one question at a time.
Okay,
so what was the first one?
The first one was
okay, women in the thing. Okay, first point of colonization, whether you know or not, and whether you mean to do it, and this is what I mean about these things we do, almost instinctively and subconsciously we don't realize, is attack women of a country, and this is like the salvific white person, not white you, like it's in the elitist empire, British white of that time, used to do. They will go around countries say that you women are oppressed, not just Muslim countries, India, Sati Burma, exactly. They made the women go against their men and feel like a hatred for the men, and they do the same thing in Afghanistan. Imagine Afghanistan's economy. Imagine Afghanistan's economy is broken, and you're talking about women going to school. What schools, moron? There's no schools left there.
So
do you understand? What jobs?
Schools?
Hear me, but one second. We're talking about real life, practical, pragmatic things. Just understand. We're talking about we're talking about
education for men, for males.
Yeah.
But there's no education for women.
So let's slow down. Let's slow down. Yeah, because trust me, you can speak about this. It was agrarian culture. You know what that is? It means it's not industrialized. It means a lot of labor-heavy work. Why is it that you don't see women bricklayers here? You're pushing for women's rights all of a sudden. Why is it that they're not strong enough?
Well, I know that's a bad
Do you see?
thing to say.
No, it's the truth, but you're scared to say
Some women
it.
are.
You're scared to say it.
you get
You've been
these-
made to be scared to say it.
As a whole, women aren't built for
Why don't they do roofing?
Because it's
Why don't they do operate heavy machinery, oil mining, oil refining, coal work? Why are you talking about women's work in agrarian cultures where it's not industrialized?
Should they be educated?
Okay, so now you pay for, imagine in a poor, poverty-stricken country, I'm paying for education for my daughter, I could barely have it. You put this in real context, not in a fake context. I could barely feed my family after 20 years of war. After war with the Russians, after war with the Americans. And you, from outside, are
Where's your
continuing.
family from?
I'm not Afghanistan, I'm just saying as in.
Oh, okay. Where is your family? Do you mind saying?
It's Asian, my way Asian.
Pakistan?
No. Leave that. I'll tell you afterwards. But, okay, so you understand, when you talk about theoretical, oh, why can't women get into education? Sounds great. But when you realize there's no labor local force or institution set up, it's not like this Marks and Spencers and Sainsbury's and women can walk everywhere. No, we're talking about a country which is ravaged. And this is why I'm saying this colonial mentality where people say things like this, but don't really understand the reality of the situation. So if your country in the initial stages of being developed, needed workforce, would you choose women or would you choose men, Michael?
Depending on what sort of work it was. No, it is. It depends on.
Okay, what work?
You're talking about manual work.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Okay.
you know, I'll probably get shot down for saying this, but I'd go with male workforce for construction.
Okay.
For that kind of
And that's what we're
but that's
talking,
not to say that
reconstructing.
women can't do work. You know,
Like what?
Like nursing,
Clerical nursing.
administration.
But what makes you say that they are not Muslim nurses? What makes you say that? This is what I'm
they're
saying.
not
You
being
lot have got.
educated.
Understand. This is what I'm saying. You lot don't realize the problems you have in your mentality.
No, hang on a second. I'm asking you.
No, but you
Have you
came
heard
in.
of Boko Haram in
One second.
Nigeria?
I'll come
They're
to
against
it. No, let's not
education.
jump because it really,
linked.
we really.
I do believe that women should have the opportunity to educate themselves.
I do agree as well. Some of the greatest scholars in Islam were Muslim women. You're aware of that? Yes. But we're talking about reality in a war-torn country. First thing you're talking to them about when they can barely feed themselves is women's rights. It sounds ridiculous, and you know it sounds ridiculous.
I'm not an advocate.
All right.
Yeah, now you're not
I'm
an
not,
advocate.
women's rights.
Exactly, but when it comes to attacking Islam, you do become an advocate. That's what I mean. And you don't realize, Michael. This is what I'm saying. And when I'm standing here, I understand you're working class white man who hasn't taken the benefits of colonialism or what the 1% do. I understand that. But you can't have that same insight for people in other countries like Muslim countries.
Islamic countries, women are repressed. It's a fact.
Okay.
Why is that?
Okay, be specific.
In this country.
Be specific.
Suppressed in this country.
Of course, but
Be
to a
specific.
different level.
Be
you know,
specific.
a different level.
I'm
of
not
suppression.
sure.
Okay, okay. Now, because okay, so now, as the gentleman was saying, yeah, imagine you don't understand how the Western world is seen from the eyes of someone outside of the Western world. They can equally look into the Western world and say, hold on, these women, they're being forced to go on OnlyFans to take off their clothes, and they're being sexualized and objectified, and they're 1 in every 3 men is raping them. Do you understand how it sounds? It sounds like you're a savage. This same propagandistic style can be done on any country coming from outside. And this is how war started, because you were led by the BBC to believe that these...
I ain't been led by the BBC.
Many people are. But Michael, but you realize you're champion in this... You're champion many of these thoughts and ideologies without even realizing. I don't mind. This is how we change things. When we're talking, I can see in your eyes you understand everything I'm saying.
Of course, I can relate to what you're saying, but I still think that, you know, regardless of who we are, what we are, male, female, Christian, Muslim, Sikh, everybody should be treated equally.
Okay, so let me answer. I just come from Saudi, yeah? Now, women are chauffeured everywhere. They're allowed to drive. They're chauffeured everywhere.
Only just recently.
Do you know why it was banned?
I don't know.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You don't realize.
So why?
That's what I'm saying. But you should have asked yourself. What's the name again?
I've never been there.
Nah. You should. That's what I'm saying. Because you came here to debate, remember? Remember? And I said let's discuss. The reason is because we need to understand what the underlying reasons are. Because travel, particularly in nomadic societies, for women is extremely dangerous. And that's why in Islam you hear things about the way traveler. The traveler is always given, like you have to be hospitable to them. Anyone who travels distances particularly can be robbed by bandits, killed, they could be eaten by animals, hyenas, whatever it is. So there is a legacy that it comes from. And the same thing happened in the UK as well. It was taboo for women to be, but the thing is, you lot forget overnight, many things were taboo. We came from an agrarian culture. We were farmers once upon a time. With the industrialization with these countries, we changed over time, but we forgot where we come from, and then we cast judgment on these other countries without applying even an iota of thought. So yes, women were banned from once upon a time driving, and the main thing was their safety. And this comes in the books of jurisprudence.
They're only allowed to go out with a male guardian in Saudi Arabia.
Are you asking me, or it sounds like you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah, good. What else you wasn't tell me?
Be honest with us. Be honest with us. The thing is you think that the average Westerner, right, the average British male has never read the Quran. No, I'm just. He's having the conversation.
Are you asking me, or you sounds like you're telling me off? This isn't it.
No, I'm just interested.
To ask me, but don't tell me off. Okay, this is rude.
It seems to me that most Muslims here have the idea that most British men or European men, that we don't have any understanding of your religion, that we know nothing about your situation, that we know basically nothing about how you live, all your beliefs, right? This is the kind of understanding. You think that you're teaching us something we don't know, but we actually do know, because we've lived in this world, right? I've myself lived in the Middle East for 10 years.
Where?
Right, I lived in Sudan, Khartoum, under the time of Dr. Al-Turabi, right? And Turabi, actually, I knew him because I taught his family English literature.
Okay, great.
So I spent a lot of time with Turabi, the terrorist. I've spent a lot of time in Israel.
Okay, so don't throw too much stuff on the table. Let me engage with what you're saying.
The average Westerner has not been to the Middle East except
Thank
Dubai.
you. So you just proved the point that what's your name?
Right, Ian.
Ian.
But what I'm saying is are those of us around
I
here
understand.
who know
Ian.
your backward
Okay. So let me catch up.
Backward religion. So
you
we know it.
see, after saying all of that, he goes against what he says, your backwards ways and your backwards religion. Ian, after spending 10 years, no, stop. You said something. Now I'm going to speak. You spoke, and I'm going to speak. Ian, you spoke. Notice this. Notice the difference, between these hate preachers. He comes we're not like that. No, stop! Don't disrupt me. I didn't disturb you. Don't disturb me. You said you made your point. Engage. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. No, do you finish? You finish. Okay, look now. No. See, no, it's now. Yeah, Michael. No, listen. You see, no, it's. I let him speak. The moment I speak, he interrupts, and you're shouting me down. He's saying, "Don't act the victim. Don't act the victim." Now, Michael has been standing in front of me. He's a white gentleman. If you ask me if I've been victimizing white people, would you say yes or no, Michael?
No.
Okay, in fact, what have I been doing on the contrary?
Well, I think you've given an equal, balanced opinion.
Okay, so Ian, next time you butt into a conversation, maybe you should just learn and listen. That's the first thing he said. Now he said we're backwards. Imagine spending 10 years in a country and saying it's backwards. The very thing he did, the very thing. No, he said you people and your religion's backwards. We can't rescind. See, he keeps rescinding on his word. And this is what I'm saying. After saying we're not all like that, you're backwards and your religion is backward. What kind of hypocrisy is this? And he can't see it. And this is what I'm saying. This is how bad it is, spending 10 years in a Muslim country, taking money under a dictator, he said, and then saying that they're backwards. But their money wasn't backwards, was it? Their money wasn't backwards. Their money. No, that's not why you went there to teach English because you're a TESOL teacher. You're a TESOL teacher. What are you a TESOL teacher? Are you? Okay, what are you then? What are you? Exactly. You went there, you said it just a few minutes ago, you teach in English, so don't say you're not a teacher.
I didn't say I was teaching English.
You literally said English literature.
What is English literature, Ian? Don't play the funny guy here.
Right, tell me something.
Okay, I'm fast anyway, but 1 second.
What is your purpose?
Go on, ask me a question.
Right, what is your purpose in your conversation? What's the purpose?
So my purpose is answering whatever Nat is it?
Yeah, Nat.
Nat is asking me, and I think we've been pleasant, right?
Yeah,
we've been pleasant, Michael.
Yeah.
But you have not been pleasant. Yeah, and you don't see anything wrong with that. No. Have I been unpleasant to you?
Look, can I hang on? Can I?
No, I don't. Now, anyway, Ian.
Can I just ask you a question? You know,
Calling the kettle black.
you must have your
Okay.
reasons. Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You must have your reasons for saying that, in your experience, the Islamic.
Yeah, I'm okay. How are you? Okay.
You must have your reasons for that.
Yeah, the way they treat women.
Yeah.
Very
There you
obvious.
go.
Okay, so this is
They treat women abominably, but they try and give the facade to us that it's not that way. They try and give this picture of perfectness, that Islam is the perfect religion and that we do everything perfectly. But in actual fact, they don't. They're still, many of them are living in the 7th century. They're still back there. And there's been, women are still treated in the same way as they were back then, subjugated.
Okay.
So I see that. Now, even now in England, we see it. You just have to go to Leeds or
Nat.
you see it.
Sorry, Nat. Michael, if you want to speak to me, speak to me, yeah? But if you don't want to have a private one, that's fine, yeah? No, stay. Stay. No, stay. What I want to do is bring the tone of the discussion down. I don't like this. So 1 second. Now, this is what I was explaining to these guys prior to... Listen. Yeah, this is the conversation, Ian, that we were having before you jumped in, and I'm not trying to bring it back to that now, What we're saying is the way that people look at people, like you have done yourself, is not correct or holistic. You have people, can you imagine if the Western world was seen on a box by people in other different countries where women are sexualized, dancing in bikinis, they're made to be objectified, they're made to be salacious, they're told that you need all of these freedoms, and everything about her is commodified, as everything is sexualized, from her nails to her hair to her feet. You're sending a car, there's a naked woman around her. How do you think those people, how do you think England 300 years ago would have viewed the Western world? They would say these people are barbaric. They've got no women's rights. They don't care for the women. There's no viability about their women. There's no sacredness, no sanctity. Christians 300 years ago would have slaughtered you if you profess these kind of things. Well, this is not an honest point of view. This is not an honest point of view. This is what I was saying. When you look at the pragmatic view of countries like Afghanistan, or war-torn countries that have been warred upon by other countries, you see that their first concern is never going to be women's rights. In the development of every single industrialized country, it was agrarian. They dealt with farming. Majority was men. Women done little things which are just as important, but they complemented the men. In Islam, we do give him women's rights. He doesn't know. I explained to you, they can travel, and there was a reason why they were banned for travel, is because of safety. It comes in all of our books of jurisprudence. Imam Malik, Imam Shafi, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and so on. Do you understand? But again, I can't stand here and say, where is the whale, where no whales exist? Because this isn't the sea. If you think that, then all you have to do is go on Google, quick
All right,
Google
can I-
search,
can
and
I
you
just
find the
ask you,
answer.
Is it true that a woman, if she's raped, she needs the 4 witnesses or something against a man?
No,
Something like that?
no. So
It's-
what is
it's
it?
not
Is
equal?
I'll tell you.
Go on.
So again,
Under
this
Sharia
is
law?
usual. This is notice your line of questioning.
Yeah.
Notice what I'm saying. It's not really a discussion.
Right.
It's assumption.
said
No, I know,
women's
which is fine,
rights,
which is
so
fine. But most people have this, and this is what Ian doesn't realize. Is in you think that you're innocent, but your whole trail of thought and the questioning is ultimately colonial. And the same thing happened to Indians as well. And do you see, honestly, Ian, do you see how this well, Michael, do you see how it's unfolding? The line of questioning is telling itself, and that's why Edward Said, the author of Orientalism, he mentioned that Orientalism is not one piece of academic work against a culture, it's a corpus of attacks, works against a culture. And the Orientalism is the precursor to colonialism. And this is what ultimately is. You don't mean to do it. He doesn't mean to be, he has no clue what he's doing. But when I'm pointing it out, he's starting to realize, but again, his ego won't say, you know what, you're
All right.
right.
So can you answer the
Yeah,
question?
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, regarding the if a woman
So,
is raped, what happens?
this is in regards to anyone who has extramarital sex, man or woman.
Right.
But your focus is only on who? Woman. And there's a
but does
reason
the
why.
woman have
Because
equal
one
rights
said,
under the
yes,
law, under
yes,
Sharia law?
yes. No, they have
Absolutely equal
different and
rights.
equitable rights. That's the difference. And it's like England, and this is the same. Ian can deny it. But he has no.
Name
Okay.
a chapter of the Quran that says that men have equal rights with regards to
I
rape.
say equitable rights.
Right, so
Yeah.
tell us where about it talks about men being raped and that
Okay,
they've got equal
okay,
rights.
yeah.
Is there a chapter in the Quran?
Is the Quran, Ian, a book of jurisprudence?
Right, so
No,
tell
is
me
it?
what
No,
it
no.
is. I just
Look,
want to
I'm
write it
asking
down.
you. I'm asking you. In the Bible, do you have
I
laws?
don't know anything about the Bible. I'm here
Ian,
to
you're
ask
not
you
having a
about the Quran.
conversation.
No,
You-
I'm asking
yeah, I
you
know,
about
but
the
let me
Quran.
engage. Let me engage.
Right.
Yeah.
So you tell me the chapter.
Ian.
You asked the question, right? I want chapters and answers so that I
Okay,
can
this
look
is
at them.
again. Not
asked you a
not
question.
Are you gonna let me? This is in your whole approach has
Okay,
been problematic.
I'll-
Anyway, your whole approach, and you don't see this.
No, but
And this is the problem.
You're doing the same thing.
You asked me a
No, but
question, I'm
you're
happy
doing
to
the same
answer
thing,
you.
you're not answering the
No. You said people are like this, Muslims are this. Anyway. Okay.
So go on.
So now, in regards to the 4 witness, they have to see the penetration in order for the had to be established, the punishment. You
Right.
can't just punish people in any legal system without due process. He doesn't know that. He doesn't. The thing is, what you want to do is think, shush. What you want to do is think, oh, this primitive barbarian Islamic religion, they never had principles before. We are the ones that made principles. No, due process was the court system that you have in Europe. Who did it get from? From Islam. They had due.
Yeah.
He's laughing. He has no clue.
Many of them
He's
learned
laughing.
here from us.
He's laughing. He has no
Now
clue.
they
He has no
not
clue.
true.
He has
Yeah,
no
just
clue.
You
not
forgot
true.
it.
Where universities?
That's why
Where do you think you got them? Universities, hospitals. Where do you think you got them from? They're saying, I can be honest here, and I have been with you. I've said like many white Christians can't say many things about Islam, about other people, integration, about immigration. I granted you all of that. But when it comes to simple things like that, people like this are so hard-headed they cannot admit the truth. Now I'm happy to admit the truth. The white person in many aspects is squeezed. He can't say jack. And I feel sorry for you. But the problem isn't Islam that I told you. It's many things. Your jobs. It's your housing, the affordability. It's your women. It's your children. What do men want? They want to be men. They want to be providers. They want to have jobs, right? You feel that? I feel you. When I see these little white guys, boys in school, yeah, I tell them I feel for you. But you can't say jack. As being a white boy, you can't say anything about someone trying to transition you, put you on medication, castrate you. You can't say to them, you have to call her. Sorry, you can't say anything against them. I'm fasting, so I'm after
We can.
So notice how
We
much I
can,
cede for you.
You know, a lot of our opinions are stifled. We can still say what we want.
Do you see how much
To
I'm
me,
ceding?
I'm not concerned if someone knocks on my door and takes me to the police station and questions me. So be it.
You should be concerned though. Why?
No.
Why?
Well, because
They can't police your thoughts.
why be concerned? Well, they do. They are.
But
and
that's
that is
wrong.
happening, and
That's
it's
wrong.
happening.
That's
And
wrong.
It's not anything other than.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. This whole line of questioning, and you have. I'm sure you, as an honest person, has stood there
See,
and
God,
seen. He is so
faithfully.
certain. He is so certain. He is not racist. He is not he's not a bad thinker. You know, we need to understand each other. And then in the same breath, he says, you people are backwards, your religion is backwards. After spending 10 years working for dictators, he said, as an English literature teacher.
But nobody wants to identify themselves racist.
Then he doesn't want to admit it. You saw that. But I'm here to concede you're right. But what makes you stronger? Islam is what makes you stronger. It gives you a belief system. Men without belief are weak. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything.
Was
Do you understand?
so important to the world. Why did it take so long to go to
a pure form of Christianity?
How many people live before Islam?
Okay.
A pure form
Yeah.
of secret.
So next question.
God would have introduced it
Whatever the
earlier.
person finds.
Next question.
Late invention.
I
So
mean,
it's
I'm
not
a believer in
important.
someone
Don't bring him in.
lives honest, good life, regardless of what they are. In God's eyes, they will be rewarded. It doesn't matter if you're a Muslim, or if you're a Christian, or if you're a Sikh, or Hindu.
The proof is in the
If
pudding.
you treat people with respect,
So you
that's
need
the important.
Islam.
Okay. The proof is in the pudding.
It transcends religion.
Proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. Yeah. As you can see, when we approach these topics, there's a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about. I'm hoping that your horizons have been broadened in this short interaction with me, and I hope I haven't been rude to you. I genuinely on my heart. Yeah. But the line of question is, you see, it's.
Presented yourself.
Yeah. But the line of questioning whether it's needed or not, whether it's meant to or not, is attacking. But the thing is, not many people can articulate themselves in a way that makes the other person understand and put down. And there's a problem. Look, this Ian was a perfect example. Yeah, and he's even after I explained to you the history of women driving, he has no. I guarantee you. You know why I know? I live in Saudi Arabia, and I've seen many people like that. They live in enclaves, in compounds. They enjoy the best parts of life. Best house, free housing, free medical, and many people know about this, but they will never see the goodness in the people. The people will give their homes and their houses open to them, but they will swear to themselves, I never get any privilege. This is people like him, working under the dictator. Anyway, so what was the question again now?
That's the question. There's so much to see.
Yeah?
It's been good to talk to you.
Give me a handshake, give me a handshake. Oh, sorry, Christianity, that was your last question. Okay, why do we need Islam? Why can't we have Christianity as a religion which grounds ourselves? Christianity used to be a strong man's religion. That's the reality. It grew a massive empire, and it took over many parts of the world, like all empires do. Like he mentioned, the Ottoman Empire was bloody. All empires are bloody. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Every empire has been bloody. But if you listen, one second. I know. Let me finish. I remember listening to a debate by Dinesh D'Souza and Christopher Hitchens, atheist and Christian, and it came to the topic of empires. And while they conceded all empires are bloody, they admitted that the least bloody of those three empires, the European Empire, Christian Empire, and Islamic Empire, the least bloody was the Islamic one. We have codes of war. We have humanity. Our jurisprudence existed in a very dense form way before British law.
And this is the thing. Included the Mughal Empire, they were really ruthless.
Oh, it's Islamic Empire, isn't it? Yeah, there was. No, it was.
Are you Christian or Muslim?
Anyway,
Yeah.
how did you enjoy this discussion? Be honest. You liked it? Would you say some of your opinions have changed? Have you got bread for food for
I think
thought?
we need to debate a bit more.
Discuss. Yeah.
debate
But do you
discuss.
understand many of the things you questioned about, you hadn't thought about properly? Be honest.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
you've got a different view on
Now, I hadn't come prepared for this.
No, I know.
But imagine if I had.
You see, the thing is that there is a reason why millions of Muslims and Hindus and Sikhs and Africans come to the West.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
it's less corrupt. Let's be honest. It is corruption here, but it's less corrupt than Africa or Asia or Middle East.
I have read
And
segments.
there's a better standard of living. They have more rights. That's why people come here. Let's be honest.
No, there's many things.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
that is
yeah.
true, isn't it?
So
We don't get treated. You get treated fairly as a Muslim. I get treated fairly.
100%. You see me, I'm not one of those who denies it.
However, if we go to many of the
كيف حالك? Where you from? من وين؟ Sudan. Eritrea. Saho or
I come from Australia.
Oh, mashallah. Idris from Eritrea. Saho.
No, not Saho.
Tigray. No, Tigrini, but Tigray, yeah?
I know Tigray, yeah.
Tigrini, yeah?
We cover 221%.
MashaAllah, Habibi. Allah yuwafiq. Allah yuwafiq. MashaAllah. Here we'll be lucky if we get one or two people.
Probably knows it anyway. I don't think we
Yeah?
would need to read
Oh, there was one yesterday. But,
They know me.
yeah.
They know me. Alhamdulillah.
What's your name? Idris? G. Idris.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
We should be
MashaAllah. Is there videos of that I can see? There's a lot. Yeah?
against those things.
What's your account? What's your account? Come.
The terrorist capacity if this was someone follow this.
With respect though,
You see these thoughts? You see these kind of thoughts and lines of statements?
the scripture. Not so much.
Well, he's asking you about verse
The
29.
Old Testament has got
Yeah.
Islam Shahada.
MashaAllah. Islam Shahada.
Islam Shahada.
MashaAllah.
And this is the last.
Allah yubarak fik.
But this is because the Quran
Some
And this is better they say that this
of them face to
religion
face,
is
some of them face to face.
I'm going to be here for about 15 days, yeah? About 15 days as well, yeah?
to explain verse 29.
Okay, sure, I'll explain it. What's your name?
doesn't matter.
You see? The first thing people lose is their humanity.
No,
What
what is your name? Where are you from? Give me your ID. So
Yes,
I will
yes.
register you.
This is a restaurant. هذا مو
I
مطعم.
never asked you.
Okay, طيب, سألني, ask me, be nice. You see?
Okay.
The reason I asked
My name
is
is G.O.D. G.O.D. Claude.
okay, in your dreams, and then verse 25, yeah?
Killing
Okay.
the unbelievers.
Okay. Okay, where is it?
Verse 29.
Oh, 20. Okay, see, this is exactly what I mean. Yeah, and now you're not going to interrupt me. You ask me questions.
No,
right?
you say, what's your name? That's your
It's
ID.
not.
Give me
سألني
your
سؤال,
ID.
sir. سألني سؤال, صح?
I never asked
See,
you.
you're Arab and you're pretending you don't understand me, right?
Let him answer.
Yes, exactly. شوف وجهه. شوف.
Arabic what?
أنا مش إيش؟ Iranian, I know.
I'm not Arab.
Sorry, but Iranian. Sorry, I've been Iranian. Okay, look, and the people.
This boy, this doesn't matter who he's come from.
Have you finished?
Why is he-
Have you finished? You asked me questions. Oh, you asked me questions.
Let him answer.
Okay, so no one's going to interrupt me, yeah, because it's not fair that you answer his question, especially with this agenda. Okay, it says fight against those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and those who do not consider unlawful what Allah and His Messenger have made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth, which is Islam. From those who are given the scripture, fight until they give the jizya willingly while they are humble. This is verse 29 in Surah Al-Tawbah. Now this guy has come here, no hello, no nothing. This is the narrative that I was speaking about. Here, explain that. All you have to do is read the verses before it. Joker, you're laughing, isn't it? What do you say? Allah has already given you victory in many regions, and on the day of Hunain, when your great numbers pleased you, but it did not avail you, and the earth was confining for you in vastness, then you turned back fleeing. This is talking about the state of war. When two nations... No, don't interrupt me. You wanted an answer, I will answer you. Now, in state of war, we're being pragmatic. We're not trying to be theoretical and say, like, look at this verse. We're looking at when this was revealed to people in war. You don't throw flowers at people. Everyone knows this. In fact, they even have the idea of the just war, that you do preemptive war. Now, that's contestable. Here is telling you, fight them if they fight you. And you don't take one verse or two verses, you take things in context.
But do you think
So the question...
Some Muslims can take it out of context as well.
And they-
So is this
Not only
particular...
other people looking in, some Muslims do take this text out of context and use it in a dangerous way.
So the question is, do I agree that some Muslims can take verses out of context? 100% like this guy just done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they
That's my
use
point.
that as a
But then you
pretext.
call them divvies. You say you're being silly, be quiet, study. Don't come like this. Be prepared.
28. He said 28.
Okay. No. He wrote it at 29. Okay. But he said that read one before.
So do you understand? As in war, there are laws and codes. In Islam, you're not allowed to kill women. You're not allowed to burn trees. You're not allowed to burn people's houses. You're not allowed to burn shrubbery. Do you understand? No animals are allowed to be killed.
He said that before. You know, he said that before. I can read.
Well, you was in Iran. Now, this is why you have to understand people. I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to him. I'm speaking to him. It doesn't, I'll tell him why. And this is why Michael is so important. Because of the Iranian Revolution. Everything changed for multiple Iranians, especially ones you see in this country. They left Iran because of the Iranian Revolution. So this is the Shias. These are the Shias. I'm speaking to Michael. So these are the Shias. They came and left because the dogmatic Khomeini or whoever had taken over the Britishers, the Shah of Iran. The colonial powers put the Shah of Iran in place. And many supporters of Shah of Iran, I'm speaking to Michael, they fled when Khomeini took over. Now Khomeini brought the Islamic Iranian Republic. Now I'm not Shia. I don't agree with them. I don't support them. But I know exactly what these type of people are like.
Okay, where are you from? Which country you accept your same as Islam?
Oh, now you want to do a meeting. Now you want to ask me where I'm from, how I am. And he came here. He came here.
Because this negative.
Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I right?
Okay.
Am I right about what I said?
Okay.
Am I right about what I said?
Emirates, okay?
No.
United Arab Emirates. United Arab Emirates, Dubai.
Okay.
Okay, United Arab Emirates. Okay? Do you see?
What?
You say that you are from United Arab Emirates.
No, I never.
Which country come you from?
Well, are you listening or something?
You told me from Emirates.
No, I never said that. I never said that.
Where are you from?
No, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. These guys asked me already.
Okay, which country you accept same as Islamic religion? I mean that you don't accept Iranian system as Islamic?
No,
You don't accept
listen.
Saudi Arabia.
Don't
Which
make
country?
things simple. Don't make things so simple. Yeah. I know his name. I know his name. I don't know your name yet. My name is Hamza. My name is Hamza. You're being silly. How old are you? You're 50 years old, 60, and you're still acting childish.
What?
You're still acting childish.
Acting childish, what you mean?
Spell backwards. That's your name.
Just give him
Okay,
G-O-D. I said that my name is G-O-D.
Okay. Let's say your name is Bob. Okay, Bob. Now, Bob, when we come to this discussion, you have to be serious. What I said about the Iranian Revolution, Khomeini, I didn't want to come here and talk about politics. But is it wrong or is it right?
But you said that
Is it wrong or is it right?
But you said that which country is Islam?
Marco, there's no point. You have to understand people and the complexity of their history and their politics. And that's why they become like certain ways. Like when the guy came in, or when this guy comes, they come with background, with the things, knowledge. When the colonial powers lost the Shah of Iran, a lot of Iranians came to this country. And a lot of them were like secularists. And even in Iran now, they're still very, very secular. They're not very religious. They're not Sunni, they're Shia.
I've really enjoyed talking to you. You presented it in a really humble and acceptable way. So thank you very much. And I'm not fobbing you off. I just want to
I know. But come back to me, because I've enjoyed it, and as much as you've enjoyed this discussion, and I can see in your eyes, you understand something. Yeah.
I'm not blinkered. I take everybody's point of view and process it in my way. Do you know what I mean?
Now, next you're going to be talking about why Islam, when you come back, is good for you. This is what my attention was here anyway.
Thank you for the conversation.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
If not, are you here regularly then?
Only for a few weeks.
Okay.
Probably one more week actually. Sorry to tell a lie.
Well, best of luck.
You as well.
Bro, you want to say something?
Okay, so so that was a bit of Q&A, questions from all over the place. You can see what typically happens. People believe they're not racist, that they don't harbor racial ideas, but everyone in the Western world becomes vesicles, whether they know it consciously or subconsciously, with these tropes of racist ideas, and they may not mean anything bad. Now, the average working white person isn't to be blamed for colonialism or imperialism. I understand that. Likewise, you can't point fingers at other countries and reduce it to simplicity. Why do women not drive? When you don't know the dangers of traveling and the history of traveling, and then the laws of women being able to drive come in at a more later date. What we showed, you could see on these two guys' faces, Michael and Nat, they understood, even though their line of questioning was very negative, they understood. So, yeah. Come. No. Huh? No, so come.